And now it's Boomer Life. Lifestyle ideas designed to make your life more engaging, meaningful, and complete. Celebrating the baby boomer generation, this is Boomer Life with Sterling Fox.
Well, hello, and welcome to Boomer Life here on AM 650. Nice to have you with us, and it's a party day. We'll find out where and when in just a couple of minutes. We're talking about Shannon Oaks and retirement living in British Columbia, and specifically in Vancouver. A couple of guests with us from Shannon Oaks on the program today. Jillian Fullerton is with Shannon Oaks and Baptist Housing, Sales and Marketing. Hello again.
Great to be here, Sterling.
Nice to have you with us, and also back with us on the program today is activity manager at Shannon Oaks, Sharon Ginter. Hello there.
Hello.
You both you're kind of tuned up today because it's party time at Shannon
party
Oaks.
Day.
But even before we get to the party details, it's a big year for Shannon Oaks. It's a big year for Baptist Housing.
Yes.
It's 50 years in Vancouver in 2014.
50 years from 1964, September 1964 to this year. So we're celebrating throughout the year, every event. But as Sharon will say, we do have a specific ceremonial sort of event happening as well.
Okay. In September, Sharon, for the actual 50th commemorative event?
Yeah. Each site is doing different days, and
Sure.
we've chosen it in September to honor and celebrate our 50 years with Baptist Housing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Baptist Housing, Jillian, started in 1964
That's correct.
with one property in East Vancouver.
On Clarendon Court,
Right.
where it's right next to Shannon Oaks. That's our assisted living site. And then in those days it was care. It was licensed care. And so that has been demolished, and Clarendon Court was built on that very site.
So the buildings aren't the same, but the piece of land on which the current buildings sit has been part of the Baptist Housing for 50 years.
Correct.
Okay.
And 13 years ago, Shannon Oaks was built adjacent to Clarendon Court. And that was built, and after that, the actual Clarendon Court, the new one, the assisted living, was built.
Okay, now we should clarify before we get any further into the discussion exactly where we're talking about. We're talking Killarney. We're talking East Vancouver. We're talking Kerr, 49th, and the address is 2526 Waverly Avenue. But if you're coming out of the city, heading towards Burnaby on 49th Avenue, you're going to turn left where?
On Elliott.
Okay.
So it's in southeast Vancouver, and you turn left on Elliott, and running parallel to 49th, one block away is Waverly.
Right.
So that is, you'll see us. You can't miss us.
And if you're coming out on 49th and you pass in front of Killarney Secondary School, you've gone too far.
That's right.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
should have turned left at the light before that.
That's right.
Yeah, at Elliott.
Okay, so that location in East Vancouver has been part of Baptist Housing for 50 years. Tell us a little bit more about Baptist Housing. Was that the first seniors community they established in British Columbia, Jillian?
That's correct. So we have now 16 sites of Baptist Housing. So all those sites are Canadian owned, BC. So, and when you live in one of those, you know that it's Canadian owned and operated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's we have been there, and we're tried and true. It is Baptist Housing, so it does have a faith-based,
Mhm.
and which we feel our residents benefit. You don't have to be Christian or any other denomination to move into any one of our sites, but you benefit as a resident because you get the Christian compassion and caring, the attention to who you are, and the respect. That carries through everything we do, from staff members to other staff members to our residents. So we are one big family.
How many communities are there operated by Baptist Housing across the province, Jillian?
16
Okay.
currently. We are building Mountain View right now. It's a new one coming up.
Where's that?
That's in Kelowna.
Okay.
So that will be coming up very soon, and it's got a care component in it as well. So all of these are sort of leading edge type of communities that Baptist Housing is sort of bringing into the senior housing industry.
Right.
We have rental housing, we have affordable rental, we have independent living, we have assisted living, and we have residential care.
Okay, so now let me stop you there, because as people are beginning to become familiar with this whole, the potential, the possibility of retirement community as a lifestyle option, there's industry jargon
Yes,
that is
exactly right.
frequently a little confusing. Now,
You're right.
we know that Shannon Oaks in East Vancouver is an independent living retirement community,
That's
correct?
right. So you can call it a retirement community, you can call it independent living, and the government sometimes calls it supportive housing.
Okay.
Supportive because the supports are there to keep you independent longer.
Okay.
Supports are nutritious meals to make sure that you stay healthy. Is an exercise program, which Sharon does so well. All sorts of activities and exercises.
And Sharon's going to tell us more about that in a little bit.
She is going to tell us more about that, which we do exceptionally well at Shannon Oaks. And then there's emergency response. There's there. So if you ever need help, there is somebody, qualified person there to respond to you, and your housekeeping is done for you.
Okay.
So you're free from all that, so it allows you to live independently. So the government often calls it supportive housing.
And that confuses things a little bit because you're just getting used to independent living, and then the province throws in another adjective.
That's right.
Okay, now you've also used the word care in a couple of sentences so far. In some cases, care is provided. Now, where does care come into the equation in a place like Shannon Oaks?
We have in Shannon Oaks, you can bring, as you move along in your living, and you need some care, maybe help with dressing or something like that.
Okay, right.
You can bring that in. But at a certain point, that becomes too much, and you're going to qualify for assisted living. Assisted living gives you some care, they have prescribed services, so you can get 2 prescribed services. They bundle them together, so you can get, maybe one of them is med supervision to make sure you're taking your medications on time
every
every day.
Sure.
It could be helping with dressing and bathing. So they bundle those into groups, and they say, okay, you get 1 here and 1 here. If you go to 3, then you no longer qualify for assisted living. You have to move into what they call residential care, long-term care. What else do they call it? Residential care, long-term care.
Complex care.
Complex care.
Okay,
that's
so
right.
all of these descriptive phrases are important because they represent a slight distinction. Each of those examples is slightly different from the other. But at Shannon Oaks, for example, it is an independent living community.
That's right.
In which individuals, residents, can bring in care to a limited extent.
That's right.
And if they need further care and assisted living, then that's not provided at Shannon Oaks, is it?
No, that's right. Next door, though, at
Yeah,
Clarendon
Clarendon Court, exactly,
Clarendon
right.
Court has it.
Right.
So, and it's all that's government funded, which is nice. So in that case, they pay 70% of their taxable income. So it's, if you're, to a ceiling of, now I don't know the exact figure, but it's around 3,500. So that, even if you're extremely wealthy, you would only pay a ceiling of around 3,500.
I see.
A month. So all that care comes to you. Those 2 bundles of care that I was talking about, that comes to you in a setting where there's care aides or LPNs or something like that to look after you.
Okay, so there's independent living, there's assisted living, which they have next door at Clarendon Court, and then there's Sharon on top of that. There's the extended
complex care,
right.
care, or residential care, or long-term care.
Okay,
those are the familiar terms that are used in BC.
Okay.
So, and that is more or less in a hospital setting.
I was just thinking that if you're in an extended care scenario, it's very hospital-like, isn't it? Now, does Baptist Housing operate now with the 2 we have here in Vancouver, in East Vancouver, next door to each other, Clarendon Court and Shannon Oaks? Does Baptist Housing operate any communities in the province that offer those other extended care options?
Definitely.
Is that right? I see.
Kelowna has a lot of them.
Okay.
We have what we call it a campus of care. So you move in at the independent living level, and then when necessary, you move to assisted living. And then when you've maxed out your 2 bundles of
right, and need a little bit more help,
you go into residential care.
And it's all in the same same postal code.
So you're not moving.
That's right.
Yeah, you're not moving away. Your friends are still there. You're still under the same roof, but in a different section of it.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's excellent.
I appreciate your patience because we do this frequently when we get together, but I think it's important, especially when people are trying to get get a handle on this whole thing, because for the first time ever, we have now a full spectrum of options for people in their senior years, offering possibilities that 10 years ago even simply didn't exist.
Exactly.
So everything's changing.
Yes.
So it's important for us to try and get a handle on those changes so that we can move with them.
Exactly.
Now, Sharon, we're going to talk about some of the activity things that you get underway down there, but it's a party day today. Now, the big 5-0 is coming up in a few weeks in September.
That's right.
But this afternoon at 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, Shannon Oaks is having the Summer Carnival. So you've been cooking on this because we talked about this a couple of months ago. So what's going to happen in the next few hours?
It's going to be so exciting. You know, when you look back, all our residents probably went to a carnival sometime in their life, and they loved it. I've talked about camp weeks we've done in past. They love games. They love being competitive. So we thought, why not bring it right to their backyard?
Okay.
So we're bringing everything in. We're having the cotton candy. We're having the popcorn. We're having the lemonade.
And the clowns.
The clowns and the games, and fun games set up all over the yard. And it's going to be great. And they're not going to stand back and watch. No way. They're going to be right in there.
Oh, there's a special dunk tank,
yeah.
too, for our administrator, Sean. He is going to... Actually,
Have we told him yet?
No, I don't
Well,
know. He's got his bathing
That's okay.
suit.
Let's just keep it a secret for a couple more hours.
Couple more hours. That's
right.
right.
So now, Sean, will hopefully show up next time that we have an opportunity to talk about Shannon Oaks and tell us about how soaked he got. But this is a big opportunity not only for the people who live at Shannon Oaks, and I'm assuming they've invited all sorts of family and friends, and so it's going to be a big gang, but it's also an opportunity for anyone listening right now who's been thinking about this whole retirement community, independent living, what goes on after in the senior. They can cruise on by and
take a look
and jump in, can't they?
Just come and take a look and see what kind of fun we have there. It's not just fun for one day, but we have fun every day. But today is a special day because we're getting all sorts of games and sort of concentrating it. And I think people can just walk in, see what it's like. If you want to arrange a tour, let us know. Myself, Jillian, or Sharon, or Kirsten, who's the marketing manager, let us know, and we will say, yes, come in, next week if you like. Come for lunch and come for really a serious look around.
Today, probably not a practical day with the big party going on.
We're having too much fun.
Exactly. But, it'd be a great opportunity to come in, have a look around, and to go, well,
Put your toe in the water.
That's right. And then speak to someone, one of the staff people, and arrange that tour for a slightly quieter moment.
Yeah, that's right.
When you can look around.
But you get the flavor of the place today. I mean, I think Howard Johnson, our CEO, fun is something he really stresses that we should all be having. So it's not the sad, the sort of droopy. You walk into Shannon Oaks and you get a different spirit there.
Well, and we had a coffee before we began, and Jillian was talking about this. She said, in a lot of people's minds, particularly people who are just coming around to thinking about this whole seniors, independent living, communities, retirement, and all of it. A lot of the mental image some of us have still in our minds is, one of those places where you're going to walk. It's going to be all drab and gray and awful, and you're going to walk in, and the lobby's going to be full of overstuffed old couches, full of old people watching the paint dry.
That's right.
and occasionally drooling.
You'd be surprised at what people do still have that image.
I absolutely agree with you. It's just
sad.
so wrong.
Yes, it is. People come there, and we say, come to Shannon Oaks. If you're active, come, and we will adapt to your lifestyle. Don't park it at the door. Bring it with you, and we will adapt to you and include it in. So we have people from different walks of life, whether they go on cruises still.
Right, sure.
They're going cruising here and there, and yes, that's great. We had the cruise line come in and do a whole presentation.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of things that are happening. We want to live life to the fullest, and we encourage our residents. So we keep them healthy. We keep them active. There's a component there that is full of joy.
Now, Sharon, let me flip that coin, though, because we keep them active sounds to some almost conspiratorial. They're not going to leave me alone. I'm never going to get a moment's peace. All I want to do occasionally is sit down and read a book. Will I have a chance to do that, or are they going to want me to go do something every waking moment of every day?
And that's right, because when you look at our activity calendar for the month, you'd be overwhelmed,
right?
If you did everything. And that's not our intent. Our intent is just to have a huge variety so that you can pick and choose, just like you're on a cruise ship.
Right.
You get those itineraries at the, before you head to bed, and you're like, wow, I want to do this and this and this. That's exactly what they do. They take their weekly schedule and they'll highlight what they want to do. And that's what our intent is, We want them to be as active and social. Yeah. But if they have a life outside with family or volunteering, or they're going across the street to the school and helping with their programs, that's great. That's what we want too.
Right.
But we just want to bring enough activities, a variety of activities, just so that they can still live life to their fullest and enjoy what they're doing.
But again, it's not about micromanaging every millisecond of every day. It's about choice.
Absolutely.
And options.
And the more choices we have, the wealthier we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting philosophical on us already.
Sorry. I shouldn't do that. Not on a fun day like today. Not on a carnival day.
We got a party to get going
on
here in a
exactly.
few hours' time. Our guests from Shannon Oaks, Jillian Fullerton and Sharon Ginter. We're just getting started here, friends. And we're back with lots more after a quick timeout right now.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on AM 650.